first time ever.
Warning acts of terror.
We are ready to engage with a two-state solution.
Some of his most senior cabinet members
The drivers of a new economic age.
Imagine a small island democracy surrounded by far larger nuclear armed neighbor under constant military pressure, and that's Taiwan in 2025. Now Taiwan has just announced an extra 40 billion defense budget to buy arms and build major defense infrastructure. Now let's understand the background. Why Taiwan feels so threatened. China views Taiwan as part of its territory and has stepped up political and military pressures over the recent years. Now, tactics used by China, military drills, incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone, grey zone operations, coast guard, harassment, maritime coercion, irregular maritime activity, disinformation campaign. Now, for Taiwan, such continued pressure makes postponing preparedness risky, hence demand for substantial defense push. Now, what is the 40 billion budget breakdown and what are the goals associated to it? Now, the package is a special supplementary defense budget of about 1.25 trillion. That's 40 billion for 2026 to 2033. For 2026, defense spending alone is proposed at 949.5 billion, raising spending to 3.32% of GDP. First time since 2009, crossing 3%. Now, what are the long-term goals that raise defense spending to 5% of GDP by 2030? Advanced weapons from United States, missile precision strike capabilities, likely more fighter jets, spare parts, high-tech arms, a multi-layered air defense and missile defense system called T-Dome, inspired by Israel's Iron Dome, to defend against aircraft, drones, missiles, cruise and ballistic threats. Now, emphasis on asymmetric defense, mobile anti-ship missiles, anti-air missiles, small unit and anti-armor weapon missile, drones, artificial intelligence enabled command and control, not just big tanks or ships. Then what is the strategic logic? Why this makes sense for Taiwan? Deterrence by cost. By building credible defenses, Taiwan wants to raise the cost for any potential Chinese aggression that makes invasion or blockade riskier, more costlier and even uncertain. Then asymmetric and defensive strategy. Given China's overwhelming military size, Taiwan's best approach is not symmetry but asymmetry. Small, mobile, survivable systems that make invasion or coercion difficult or costly. And that's porcupine strategy. Then defend democracy and sovereignty. Taiwan frames this not as aggression but as self-defense, preserving democratic values, autonomy, rejecting forced unification. Now, signal to allies, especially United States and other democratic states, Taiwan signaling seriousness that it is not passively waiting but actively preparing. It may strengthen support from the United States and its allies. Economic value, the Silicon Shield, Taiwan's global importance, particularly in semiconductors, means that its security matters beyond itself. Global stakeholders have interest in its stability. Now, what are the challenges, risks, and even the criticisms? Now, domestic political friction. The plan depends on parliamentary approval, opposition voices question whether such heavy spending is justified or not. The strategic risk of militarization and escalation, critics warn that heavy arms buildup might provoke China escalate tensions or trigger an arms race. Over-reliance on symmetric big-ticket items versus asymmetric defense. Historically, Taiwan invested in conventional hardware that ships, planes, and tanks, and some people also argue that it should emphasize asymmetric capabilities instead, but institutional inertia makes that hard. So uncertainty over US support and supply chain is also one of the risks. While the US's primary arms supplier, delivery delays as seen with earlier F-16V jets and shifting US foreign policy, it may also affect the timelines. So the kill chain problem, in case of invasion, Chinese joint firepower strike campaign using air, missile and rocket forces, it may attempt to neutralize Taiwan quickly, meaning even a heavily armed Taiwan may struggle. So what it means for the global geopolitics? What is the bigger picture in this? Flashpoint for US-China confrontation. As Taipei arms itself, any conflict over Taiwan could draw in the United States, raising risk of large-scale regional war. Then importance of Indo-Pacific security architecture. A militarily strong Taiwan, it helps to check Chinese dominance. It supports regional balance and protects the trade routes. Freedom of navigation, semiconductor supply matters for the global economy. It signals to other democracies under pressure. Taiwan's move shows a small democracy refusing to yield to pressure and preparing seriously for its defense. It may embolden others resisting authoritarian coercion. So arms race and regional instability risk, but it also risk of escalating militarization, more jets, missiles, drones, air defenses. It could trigger the security dilemma across East Asia, Japan, Philippines, United States, and many other. So what to watch next for a couple of months? What to monitor? Whether Taiwan's parliament approves the full package. Secondly, pace of acquisition and delivery of weapons, fighter jets, missiles, air defense systems and drones. And then third, China's reaction. Increase in military drills, further pressure, economic coercion or diplomacy. And then United States allied responses. Will US deepen their support? Will Japan and other regional powers reposition or align more strongly with Taiwan? So the 40 billion arms push is Taiwan's attempt to shift from deterrence by diplomacy to deterrence by strength, acknowledging that in 2025's world democracy, it may also require robust defense. So for global stability, what happens in Taiwan matters to all. That's all from my side in this video. I'll see you in the next video. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat.